Okay, welcome back. Yesterday, we looked at this keyboard figure a lot to talk about intervals, and in the last video, I told you that chords are made up of stacked thirds. Now, there are two different kinds of thirds that we usually talk about. We have minor thirds and major thirds, and this is meant to show you what specific thirds we have in each of these chords. So we're going to start with diminished, just like we started with the music that you just listened to. Now with the diminished chord, you can see that I've labeled the notes that we have. Now I did include a repetition of C, so we have a low C and a high C. That's usually how these chords are going to be played. And what I showed you here, we don't have that high C. It would go right here in this fourth space. We're just worried about these lower three notes right now. So in music, chords are made up of stacking thirds. Let's talk about the kinds of thirds we have specifically in a diminished chord right now. We're always going to start counting on 1 on the lower note, and from C we have 1, 2, and a small step from 2 to 3, we have a small third. We have C to E flat, that is a minor third. A diminished chord has a minor third on the bottom, and then from E flat to G flat, we will see here, let's count 1, 2 is F, and a small step up to G flat. We have E flat to G flat is another minor third. So in a diminished chord, we have a minor third and another minor third. That's what makes a diminished chord a diminished chord. That's how we stack these thirds. Moving on, let's go in the same order. We have a minor chord now. We still have that E flat here, but instead of G flat, we've moved that G slightly, or we've moved that note slightly up to a G natural instead of G flat. Let's count the intervals. One more time, from C to E flat, we have 1, 2, and a small third step. So we still have a minor third on the bottom. I'm sorry. But now, let's count from E flat to G natural, not to G flat. We have 1, 2, and now a bigger step from F to G. So now we have that bigger kind of third. We have a major third from E flat to G, and that's what makes this a major chord. Or I am sorry, a minor chord. Now, I even just screwed this up, but that proves my next point, which is it's probably weird to think that this is a minor chord, but it has a major interval in it. That's just how this is. What you need to know is a minor chord has a minor third and then a major third on top of that. Moving on to the major chord, we see that we are no longer in E flat land here. We've moved that note up to E natural. So from C to E natural, we have 1, 2, and a bigger third step. So we have a major third between the C and the E natural. Major third comes first. And then from E to G, we actually have to go up to this F sharp for that major second from E. So we're going to count 1, 2, and a small third step from F sharp to G. So we have that small third, the minor third from E to G. Just like I said with the last one, how it's probably weird to think that there is a major interval in a minor chord. That's the same thing, but in reverse for this. In a major chord, we do still have a minor third, but we also have a major third. What you need to know is a C major chord has a major third first and then a minor third above that. And the last kind of chord that I want to point out right now is this augmented chord. So we have, again, the E natural, but now instead of going to G, we go all the way up to G sharp. So let's count these intervals from C to E. Just like the last one, we have 1, 2, 3. That is a major third from C to E. From E to G sharp, we have 1, 2 is F sharp, and 3 is G sharp. We have that bigger step from F sharp to G sharp, which means that we have another major third. So an augmented chord is a major third, then another major third. Let me go back through all these one more time just to show you. The diminished chord is a minor third on the bottom and another minor third on top of that. The minor chord is a minor third on the bottom and then a major third above that. The major chord is a major third on the bottom and then a minor third above that. And finally, the augmented chord is a major third on the bottom and then another major third on top. Like I said earlier, these distances between notes start getting a little bigger and bigger as we go from diminished up to augmented.